I'd like to start with reading from a letter I recently received from one of Mark's students. She wrote, "Dr. Shadle is passionate and talented about the craft of English writing rhetoric, and he somehow manages to share that passion through his online courses. They are demanding and interactive. Since beginning coursework with him almost 2 years ago, my writing skills have improved a great deal. So much that I have actually had a magazine article published. He is truly invaluable to his students. The students he reaches through his online courses don't have a lot of choices when it comes to their education. I am 25 miles from the nearest town and over 60 from a college. Online coursework is my opportunity to advance my education as a member of a Western rural community. The content of the information and the skills that Dr. Shadle has taught me have truly transformed my perspective of the world and have empowered me to feel like making positive change is possible. Time does not permit us to say what Mark means. To our passion for teaching, to our love of reading, to our dedication to students, to our love of writing, the deep spirit of our inquiry, to our nurturing of students, to our enduring faith in literacy, and our deep respect for the knowledge and accomplishments of our colleagues. Time does not permit us, and words fail us. So, in times like these, Mark and I turned to the blues, and we were able to secure the cheapest possible blues band. So, if we could have the band come up. So we must apologize to the blues tradition. Luckily, it's long and deep and will survive this performance. The song we will sing is based on Dinah Washington's The Blowtop Blues. And our apologies to her as well. She is not someone to fool around with, even though she has passed on. When someone asked, "You've had 7 husbands?" and she replied, "I change husbands before they change me." The last verse, Mark, was composed by your daughter, Astrid. So I'll let you all know, that's the 3rd verse, and we'll let you know when that's coming up. We'll hold up the universal sign of rebellion at that time. I give you the afterthoughts. So let's try. If I take glasses off, it's hopeless. Mark's Green Man Blues.
Social Security and they say you're better off dead. And when they get for talking, I can't remember everything you said. And I used to be a young prof, all stylish, ready to die, but now you're in court and you're wearing the 90 streets alive. For you're a guy who refuse, and God knows ready to tire blues. Well, you're a guy who refuse, God was ready to retire blues. Last night you were drawing dollars, and drinking your beer in the pub. Tomorrow you're getting a harder for your parents on the grub. Well, you're a guy who refuse, got ready to retire blues. Well, you're a guy who refuse, got ready to retire blues. So when you turn your courses off, raise your glass to be behind. When you wake up in the morning, leave those random notes behind. When you're a guy who can't refuse, you got ready to retire blues. When you're a guy who can't refuse, got ready to retire blues. You got drunk last night and you told your students no more. You got juice last night and said you can't teach no more. If you're ready to retire, Papa, and you don't need to do it no more. If you're ready, Papa, and you don't need to do it no more.
Man, I know it's Son House. I know what Son House was talking about now when he said, they hoodooed the hoodoo man. And one night I forgot to bring my blues harp. They did that, so, all right. I just they took my time up and told the truth perfectly. That's the story of my coming retirement. And I'm still hoping that tonight, instead of the rocking chair, I get what I asked for, the EOU Kevlar vest. Because on our salary, we have to retire to dangerous places, and that's what we need. So. I just have a couple things to say, though. Like others, I feel privileged to be at EOU. When I came here in ancient Paleolithic times in '86, it was an inauspicious beginning. I didn't have a job. I turned down other jobs to come here for the place because I love LeGrand that much when I first saw it. And so George Venn told me last night he had my Scaredy Cat interview for part-time work on tape. Of course, George says he keeps everything recorded. And so I'll have to get that and find out what it sounded, how desperate it did sound. But my first class was a Writing 115 class on a Monday morning. And there were 12 students. And Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, nobody came back to that class. Nobody came. They were just gone. I couldn't find out. I called them, made phone calls, and I didn't have the phone numbers. But turned out they'd gotten a cow tag and had a cow tag party. I didn't know what that was at that point. But that led to my first official EOU writing, which was 30 Things You Can't Do in an Elk Hunting Essay, which basically was designed to turn any elk hunting essay into sci-fi, or something else. And that worked pretty well. And alongside Anna Maria, we had a booming writing lab and a learning center. I'd say the busiest west of the Mississippi. And part of the pleasure of working at EOU is something that I'd actually prepared for in California in adult schools and community colleges after grad school in a fancy university. And that was first generation college students. About 85% of ours were first generation then, and non-traditional students. And I identified with them because I'd worked a lot of rough jobs, and so had they. And I loved them for who they were then, as well as who they became with school. And the great thing about them was they'd resist you incredibly at first, and then they just do whatever you said. After you wore them down, unlike astounding. And so I tell them crazy things to do, and they do. And the other students I was so grateful for here are the ESL students, because as Donald knows too, thank you, mi amigo, and the greatest blues band ever. Those students can twist the English language into a pretzel. And I'll tell you just two of my favorite bloopers from ESL students. One was a really moving essay by a Japanese student, which ended with this last sentence. And then my grandmother went ahead after a difficult 3 years in the hospital and died of cancer of the lymph glands. Another one was by a Chinese student who said, after Watergate, Richard Nixon relieved himself in office. I know it's true. You've seen House of Cards, and that's true. The only other thing I want to say is that some of you are going to be here a bit longer, at least a few of you, and I hope you have some fun where I had my greatest fun, KEO Radio. You never knew if there were 3 or 4 people listening. It's streaming now, but I just had outrageous fun in that radio show. I remember playing 3 hours of bootlegged Balinese monkey dance, followed by 3 hours of Frogs Mania in Florida, until finally somebody called, and I got a call from the provost, I won't say which one, this was a long time ago. And at that point I put on, well, I'll tell you what I put on, that got me in trouble. But it was fun. And I guess the other thing is that being out at the edge of the galaxy, where we are, you can do things. If you work hard and you're conscientious and you're friendly, and you get to know people across the disciplines as you can here, and that was the greatest plus of all for me. I could wander into Doug's art classes, or Steve knows I've asked him about math theory all the time, and learn constantly from your colleagues, even though we were out here far away from bigger libraries and all the rest. So EOU, a place stranded, seemingly from where big decisions get made, is a place where you can do great things because only a few people are watching. All right, thanks for letting me teach.